Well, there you go. It says I'm live, Susan.
Oh,
It says I'm live. We've got no one in the house. That doesn't matter. I just need to make sure I'm looking my best for my guest. I'll make
yeah,
sure I'm
yeah,
looking my
what's
best.
live now?
Eh?
Yeah, what's live now?
Is it on? Is it? Is it on live? Can you see it?
I'm just wondering if it on.
I've got to look best for my guest, and I just don't want to turn up late. Like, I'd hate to let her down. I'd hate to let her down. I mean, we got one person looking. Is that you? It must be you.
No, I'm not in there yet.
Tap something. Say something to me.
Corleone Gundogs.
Two people in here. It says, "Come on, tap something to me, Susan," because I don't want to be talking to myself. The problem is they're coming in now. Thank goodness for
What's
that.
them for?
I thought I was on my own for a minute again. Honestly, I'm getting withdrawal symptoms. I'm getting very nervous. Very nervous. I'm going to be challenged tonight, hopefully. I'm going to be challenged for my way of training and the way I speak to people, the derogative way that I speak to people.
Yeah, it's been 4 hours on here tonight. He is.
So there you go. Chris Upton's in early tonight because we had problems coming in last time, and I wanted to make sure I was here for my special guest, that I've made a special place for her to come in tonight. And welcome, everybody. Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could have a sensible debate about dog training? Wouldn't it be wonderful if we could have a sensible debate with someone who doesn't agree with my methods of training? Wouldn't that be wonderful? Now, the thing is, what's the chances of this woman coming in? Now, am I being derogative by saying this woman? Because it might not be a woman. It may be that I'm assuming it's a woman. I'd hate to be. Sue's monitoring me. Sue says, whatever happens, if I slap you on the head tonight, you've got to refrain and apologize. Steve Pace, don't hold your breath, Chris. But Steve, it's amazing, isn't it, that that debate with what he did with that dog, and I don't want to name him. I don't want to name him on here. I don't want to give anybody the limelight, and I've given my views with the group, what I think about that situation, and we've kept it within our group, and I think that's wonderful. We've talked about it, we've discussed it like rational, sensible people. I'll have a drink for you, Chris, while you're on a dry January. The last of the brandy. Cognac, the last of the cognac. It's lasted me all Christmas
I knew you.
and New Year. So that's the last of it. I've got to make it last. Why should I get dragged in? Why do you think these? I'm not being derogative again. Tell me if I'm being derogative. Why do these women, unfortunately overweight women, decide to bitch about me about a completely different thing? Completely different thing. A video goes up of a trial person. It's been spread all over the internet, and I shared it in our group and our group only to educate people. You know who's in the group, what I said, what I felt. I'd say it the way I feel. And yet, this so called professional trainer, who's supposed to be a professional, graduated, got all the certificates, she's on every forum known to man. If you look, she's on TikTok. I think anybody who's on TikTok trying to sell themselves as a dog trainer in 15-second videos is desperate.
Another one of those.
Another one of those, yeah. They love to live in the past with the facts they don't even know and don't definitely understand. Yeah, but not only that, Steve, they then bring it in that I bullied a woman in Scotland. I bullied a woman in Scotland. It just drags it all up again. When I try to move on, they drag me back in. It's a bit like the Godfather, isn't it? I try to get out and they drag me back in. I come off all these crappy group gun dog training sites. There are some good ones out there, but I don't get involved in debate. Why? Because I can't be bothered to fight the so-called know-it-alls. It's as simple as that. She's got every chance of coming in, but we've got to give her a benefit of that, because at the end of the day, I did say we start at 8:30. I would love her to come in. She's got my phone number because I rung her up, but I only rung her once. So when they phone the police and say, I'm being persecuted by this trainer because I said something about him, the police go, well, don't talk about him. Go away. He's got a reputation that if you go after him, he highlights you and gives you a platform. Either take the platform and have the debate, or go away. Because the police are learning. The police are learning that, if you make threats to anybody, or you bully people in a nasty way, or you're overly rude, you get taken down off the sites these days. You didn't used to. People used to be able to say what they wanted. They're now catching on that. What about the mental health? What about people's mental health? I wouldn't say he made a mistake. I think he's done that before. I'm being totally honest with you. I don't think it's nothing new. But my question is this: why haven't all the trial world turned against him? Some of them did, because I've been reading some of the comments. And I think they have every right to disagree with that method. That is not training. And I think we have a right to our opinion. And if we aren't allowed to express our opinion, it gets driven underground. And if it gets driven underground, how can people debate it? How can people rationalize but understand about the fact that dogs need discipline, correction at the right time? And my site shows you that. And I stand by everything I've done. And that video that I put up, although I didn't want her sharing it to the World Wide Web, because I knew that in the wrong hands, some idiot would kick off, I knew that I'd done nothing wrong with that dog. It's been done for thousands of years. And it was a correction I stand by. But I will defend myself, and I will give the reasons why I use corrections like that. And I talk about corrections. I have a following on the internet. Is that worth fighting for? It's not worth fighting for in certain circles, but it's great to expose people every now and again and call them out for the claptrap they come up with. And she sent me a message saying, I never said nothing about you. Yes, you did. I sent her the message. I showed her. Leave me alone. I've got busier things to do. No, you haven't. You're on the internet bitching about a trainer you know nothing about. Now, she's entitled to her view. She's entitled to her opinion. She can say what she likes about the other trainer. I don't care. She can call him what she likes. I don't care. She can report him to who she wants. I don't care. But when you try to drag my name into it, I have every right to stand up and call her out. So I call her out publicly. I bet she's watching, though. Exactly, Steve. Why do you think I'm doing it? And why do you think that I'm giving her the option to show? Any decent dog trainer would come up and have debate and say, your method of training is old-fashioned. You couldn't train a dog to save your life. We've all moved on. No, you've moved on because you've got your degree hat on, and you think that gives you the right to criticize other people, but it doesn't give people the right to criticize you. You're wrong. We can criticize you, because I'm going to start playing your videos, and I'm going to start explaining to people. I hear you, Sue. Where's Sue? Naughty but nice and right. Trouble. They don't like the Pamela Anderson, poor Chris. What the hell is this going on about?
Steve said, you must be a minge magnet. So I went, Steve, naughty but nice and right. The trouble is they don't look like Pamela Anderson. They're like, oh, yeah.
I must be a minge magnet, Steve. I mean, what about Susie Two Shoes in the background? What about her? How could you say such a thing, Stevie boy? Do you know what? It doesn't make you popular, does it? Because let's just say that 30% of the country, let's just say the country, not the world, it could be the world, 30% of the country are fat women, right? And I don't want to be derogative against fat women, but they don't turn me on. I'm being honest with you. I'm being totally honest with you. Give me a skinny bird all day long compared to a real fat one. But at the end of the day, everybody to their own. I know some friends of mine, absolutely, the bigger the better. The more meat on them, the better. And there's nothing, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But as soon as you talk about the subject, they then play the wounded person because you've fat shamed them. No, I'm not fat shaming anybody. I'm saying my preference. Why is it always fat women with nothing better to do in life, lonely, depressed, that need to give me shit? I mean,
Perhaps you were their little
I,
magnet.
I'm the babe magnet. Come on, Steve. I'm the bloody babe magnet. I'm trying to be sensible here, everyone. I don't want you laughing. There's too many smiley faces.
Because it's got to work both ways.
Yeah,
isn't it?
but the thing is, if you throw yourself at me, I could be tempted, but you're going to have to do a bit more than that. You can't rubbish me. I don't. Some blokes like to be belittled, don't they? Sat on, but perhaps not me. Perhaps not me. Got fat? Go first. Go dancing. Stop it, Peter. Stop it. Now, not being funny. I think the girls who are slightly overweight, who can just chuckle at this and go, "It's freaking ridiculous. It's ridiculous." He builds a following privately away from YouTube. He puts it up on Patreon. You don't have to watch the fat kit if you don't want to. You don't even have to get triggered by watching this video after video after video and see what following he gets. If I wasn't on Patreon and I was putting it all back on YouTube, I'd be up there with that massive following again. Massive. Now, some guys like big butts, and I'm pretty sure I put up a picture the other day of a well-muscled up weightlifter, bodybuilder. And I was absolutely amazed at the girls in the group who came in and went, yep, yeah, putting green faces up.
Yeah,
Does
I'm
not
a sadly
does
sad
nothing
girl.
for me. Sue's exactly the same. But there is a thing as the dad bod. The dad bod. Some younger women like the dad bod. Now I'm just rambling at the moment because I'm waiting for her to come in. She's 1 minute late. But we gotta give her a dues. A woman can be late. It's a bit of a tease, isn't it? It's like, I'm coming, but you'll have to wait for me. But I'd give her a platform. Borrow Gary's Xmas suit. Graham, what an idea. What if I put jingle balls up and danced around the room with Gary's suit on? I think the police would be coming round.
There'll be a lot of green faces.
There'd be a lot of fat girls contacting me. I mean, all the real good-looking girls who've come here, and I've looked at them and thought, oh, if I weren't married and you fancied me, oh, I like you. But I've kept myself to myself because I'm a married man. No one can accuse me, no one, and this is live, no one can accuse me he had an affair behind his wife's back. No one can come on and go, yes, he's a dirty bugger. Yes, he's a randy bugger, but he behaves himself because he loves his wife. Now, I find it a bit of an insult to contact me non-stop and pester me just because you're overweight and desperate. I think you need to control yourself. I think you need to control yourself. And if you're listening, we can talk in a rational. Kev Fielding's in the house. Good evening, Kev. Anyway, I'm just waffling at the moment because I'm dying for her to come in. I can't wait. I love Ginger. I was going to say something else, and I've just controlled myself. I have. I love Ginger. Yeah. Do you? There was one girl. Oh, she had the most beautiful ginger hair. What was her name, Sue?
We all know who she is.
Was it not Kelly? Who was
Carrie.
Carrie? Oh, with ginger hair, she came here. She was a beautiful, looking woman, lovely looking woman. Honestly, I sometimes think, oh, isn't she lovely? Hasn't she got a lovely movement? A bit like a filly, a bit like a horse, a bit like a good-looking dog when it's hunting. No, I'm not calling them a dog, but when they're hunting, I think
Don't look like an horse.
they don't look like an horse. But sometimes my imagination runs away with me. Good evening, Lynn. My imagination runs away with me and thinks, how the hell would that look naked? Now, who am I to say such things, being a big fat like me? But guess what? It does not turn me on personally. There's nothing wrong with window shopping, says Steve. Yeah. It's as long as you can see through the freaking window. Fox Red, says Peter Piper. Fox Red. So I don't think that she's going to come in. I think she's going to watch it, and I don't think she's going to come in. And she says he's got a large following, but all those people beat their dogs.
Is it another one of those keyboard warriors?
Yeah,
Is that?
it's another keyboard warrior, isn't it?
No.
And they're so fast to gob off when they got a group of lots and lots of people. Yeah, Michael McLaughlin, what's wrong with your English? The Irish love the Auburn beauty. Nothing wrong with Auburn beauty. I think Kerry's from across the pond, across the channel. Um, I think Steve is dead right. I think she's too busy refilling her fanny bag with treats, because that's exactly what she's about. She's about treats. She's a positive only trainer. Like I said, she's on every forum. Anybody who's got her on TikTok to sell themselves as a dog trainer is desperate. 15-second videos because I want to be followed. Honestly, put up your dog training. I don't want to see her. I don't want to see a picture of her. I want her behind the freaking camera so I can use my imagination and just listen to her voice talking about the dog training in front of her.
Yeah, but a voice may be horrible.
This is it. Her voice may be horrible as well. But the thing is, I don't care if she's been to university. She's got a degree. She hasn't got a brain, has she? Because I gave her a platform to come and talk to me. And do you know what? There's a lot of people on here who support me, who follow me. But I bet you what? I bet you, I'm a gambling man. I bet none of you would be rude to this woman. You'd just listen and let me get on with it. This is the point where Chris Upton says, on the odd occasion, you've got to stand up and fight back. Degrees mean nothing in the real world. Exactly. It means nothing, doesn't it? I'll tell you what. Steve, did you see Steve's award? Did you see Steve's award? I bet she's not got I bet she's not got one of them, has she? I bet she hasn't got a bloody Oscar. Has yours arrived yet, Gary? I see Steve sent me a video of him banging his teeth against it, hoping it was gold. Did your Oscar arrive, Gary? Exactly, Brett. She needs to stop the bollocks and show us a dog. And that's the old point. I think if we don't call these people out when they rubbish us and try and tar us with the brush, it's like saying, just because I've got a chainsaw, I'm a tree surgeon. It's a joke, isn't it? It's an absolute joke. Anybody can have a dog. And then did you see the thing about, was it a cockapoo? Was it a cockapoo? She said she got 3 dogs. She showed 2 of them. I think it's either misspelt or freaking trying to confuse a dyslexic person. Because the last time I looked, what's name was a bird.
Unless she uses a cockatiel for training for her dogs.
Perhaps it just keeps repeating itself.
We have a little question.
Who's a pretty girl? Who's a pretty girl? Okay, shut up, you liar.
We have a little question from a little 17-year-old.
Sorry, little 17-year-old in the house. Let's have the question from the little 17-year-old, Susan.
My first lab,
Is it a girl or a boy?
It's Joe.
Joe. All right, okay.
Well, actually, Joe could be a girl or a boy, but I would say a boy. Right, my first lab, I'm 17 and use treats for recall. Is that okay?
Joe, if it works for you and you're happy, I'm happy for you. You'll find that it'll work to a certain extent, but then when distractions come into it, but it depends what you want the dog for, Joe. If you're just having it as a pet and you're doing little tricks with it in the house, nothing wrong with using treats in the house for recall. No problem at all with using a bit of food. Food is a motivator. It's a primal motivator, and you can get dogs to do little party tricks with food. The reason we don't use a lot of food all the time is the dog then becomes reliant, and you become the vending machine for the dog. Paul Jarvis says cheese, Joe, but Paul Jarvis is trying to confuse you, Joe. Whatever you do, don't start using cheese, especially. You've not been on this group long enough, especially soft cheese. And especially blue cheese. You'll find it stinks on your fingers, and the dog will be licking your fingers all the time. Paul Jarvis loves the cheese, but I'm not going to tell you where he puts it because you're 17. Anyway, you probably know anyway at 17.
Gary, what is Oscar today?
Gary got yours as well. Did you? Well done, Gary. Pleased about that. Yeah. Extra cheddar, says Rob. Use extra cheddar. It's like you'd be like the Piper of Hamlet if you walk in a park with cheddar cheese in your pocket. If you're new here, Joe, I would suggest stick around and you will learn an awful lot. Nothing wrong with treats, but we fade them out if we do use them or swap them for alternative rewards like the ball or the dummy. I mean, I've just added the dummy, but yes, Kieran's dead right. At the end of the day, in this group, we talk about dog training. We are a friendly group. We don't rubbish other people. We don't go out of our way to rubbish other people openly. When they attack me or attack other people in the group, I'm quite happy to go after them. I have no problem then, and I expose them for what they are. Now, there's no way. I'm gonna do a little bit of, because she's obviously watching, but she's just a little bit too shy. She's a professional, but she's too shy to stand up for what she said about me and defend what she said about me. She said she didn't say anything about me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a picture. I'm going to put up a picture of her, and I want you to give me, anybody in the room who wants to play this game, you can. If you don't want to play the game, don't play the game. I don't want marks out of 10 for the dogs. I want marks out of 10 for the trainer. So in your own eyes, I want to know if I'm just missing the boat here and I should like jump at the chance. There she is, the little beaut. Marks out of 10, 1 to 10. If you're on a blind date, especially with that hat on, if you're on a blind date, what would you give out of 1 to 10? Now, I don't think that's being too rude. I think that she's talking about me, and I think that at least a 3, says Gary Marriott. Honestly, Gary, you've obviously not had it lately. Michael McCoy had a sprocker from a friend over Christmas, highly dominant, 5 months old, possession aggressive, spoiled. End of 2 weeks, he was good with me, went back home, trying to assert himself. Exactly, Michael, exactly. Rob said I would. Rob, you dirty bugger. Honestly, a double bagger. Gary was looking at the dog, someone said. I would give her 1. Would you? Tim. Sue wasn't impressed. I don't think Sue would put up with a 2s up. Or was it 3s up, isn't it? Is it a 3s up? The freaking bed's not big enough with us two and Sue. Stop it. Anyway, I think that if she came on here, she should be laughing at this point, chuckling at herself.
But I mean, like Michael McLaughlin said, best about it, the Corleone family would give her respect and a platform if she had an or backbone.
Yeah, if she had a backbone, this is why I'm just playing a game with you, and it's light-hearted. It's not in her face, is it? If she's watching, I just wanted
we know she hasn't got a backbone to come on.
But the thing is, what really gets these narcissistic people who just love to rubbish others to make themselves look better, they don't have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And I know that's going to piss her right off. And I don't mind doing that because I'll do it in a friendly way, in a jokingly way. And at the end of the day, she's talking about me. I have every right to talk about her. And if she then says to a partner, he said this about me, that I'm a minger. I didn't say you're a minger. I asked everybody in the group to give you a bit of a bit of feedback. Now, at the end of the day, I don't want to keep banging on about people who don't like me. I want people to go away who don't like me and go and bang on about somebody else. What I'm interested in is people who want some answers. And if she came over and spent a £5, I think she get, how long does she get? A month, doesn't she, for a £5 on Patreon? She'd have a far better reflection of what we do, wouldn't she? Because it's like blindfolding her, or blindfolding me, having her on the bed and sending me in the bedroom for a lucky day. I'd freaking be out that bedroom by touch.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have to see her. I'd be out the bedroom by touch.
But that is a problem, Chris. They're blinkered.
They're blinkered.
They only see what they want to see.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ, Paul, I thought you were going to give me a £5 challenge with her then. It said her dogs. Yeah, thank God. I'll do the £5 challenge with the dogs. But honestly, but the whole point of if you're going to be rude about me, I have every right to be rude about you. And if, at the end of the day, if you then go, oh, I'm being picked on because I'm a woman. Well, no, you didn't need to come into my life, did you?
No, you started the argument.
You didn't need to come into my life. I hadn't upset you. I hadn't gone looking for your pages, your vast amount of pages all over the internet, whether you're in Twitter, freaking Facebook, love sites, all this shit. I just found so much about her. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You should see the list of what she says achievements are by studying other people. Perhaps she needs to get her own act into order and start putting up some videos and showing us how good she is. And then I might say, hang on, this woman knows what she's talking about and I could learn something from her. And then I might start promoting her, because I'm about one of the only trainers that will promote people for the right reasons, because they're good dog trainers. I promote people for the right reasons. I don't go after people looking to shame them to make myself look better. But she has no idea. You guys, like I said, know exactly what I said. And I said it in a rational, sensible debate. And I know a few people in our group who've trained with him, who have trained with him. They didn't get involved in a tit-for-tat bitch fight. But I never put the videos up in our group for a bitch fight. I put it up because I like to talk about the fact, is that acceptable or not acceptable? And I didn't have one person in the group said that that video that was up was acceptable. Not one. But people gave their honest opinion, and I thank you for that. But I waited before I gave my opinion. But at the end of the day, he ain't the first and he ain't going to be the last. Because if certain people in the film star set have taught people that's what to do, to give a correction at that point under that temptation and at that level, other people will do it. Now, I'm going to tell you something now, and I'm going to be very, very careful how I say this. This was a conversation between me and another member of our group. I'm not going to mention their name because they haven't given me permission to mention their name and what happened. But we had a member of our group, our Patreon group, go on a shoot today or in the last few days and watched a Labrador person tie up the dog's back legs with 2 leads, right? Because the dog was not steady on the shoot. And then Bob and Mike, Peter and Paul contacted me and said the same thing. And I said, hang on, do you all go on the same shoot? And this person said, no, but they're promoting this because they've watched a film star do it. So 5 people have told me about this in the last 4 hours. And I said, this is unreal. And they said they've seen him doing it on another shoot and they've been advised by a so-called, well, is a top dog trainer. Let's ask the question to the group.
Okay, here's question of the day. Welcome to question of the day, your daily trivia challenge. Each day, I'll ask you a new question. Answer the question correctly to earn points and unlock additional features.
Do you know how to shut up?
If you would like for me to repeat a question,
Alexa,
say repeat.
shut up.
Thanks for playing. Keep your brain sharp by answering a new trivia question every day. Just ask for the question of the day.
This is unreal, isn't it? This is unreal, isn't it?
Typical woman, isn't it?
Oh my God, I'm glad I didn't say that and Sue said it. Sue said typical woman. Had to interrupt as I was on a spiel. And what I'm saying is, anybody in this group, would you be suggesting somebody taking their dog on a shoot that can't sit steady off the lead? Would you say that's a trained dog or untrained dog? If you could just give me an answer, trained or untrained. A dog that needs to be tied up by the back legs. I just think it's absolutely unbelievable. Is Alexa what? Oh God, you made me say a name again.
He needs to be tied up, doesn't he? Or educated.
But the thing is, if it's coming from the film stars, and I've not mentioned, this is the whole point. I've not mentioned who said what of the people who told me, but 2 people came up with the same name, and this person's been advised by them. And I think to myself, this is ridiculous. I think tonight I've had 15 phone calls from different people over different things with dog training. Or people contact me this evening asking about lessons. No problem. But it's like some evenings I get 30 questions. I get 30 people contacting me and asking me that I've been told this and I've been told that. And it's my job as a professional, and not all trainers train the same, but I can tell you this, everybody, I have never ever taken a dog on a shoot and tied up both legs so it can't move, or when it does move, it's going to hurt itself. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And if this is what they're telling them, these film stars out there, it's sad. It's sad because no one has an understanding. You should not be taking a dog on a shoot if it's not steady. It's not ready to be on the shoot. And then they wonder why they whine and why they fidget. The worst dogs you see on the shoot with the guns is when they screw them into the ground with those metal prongs in it and screw them into the ground and leave them on the lead. And the dog pulls. Next minute, it's chasing across the field with this freaking metal thing spinning around above its head. I'm not the one to hold back. I would give my opinion. If they asked me to leave, I'd leave.
He said I would open my mouth if I saw a dog's legs tied up with his legs tied up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I said.
I agree.
That's exactly what I said to the boys who asked me that question, because they just couldn't believe it. That's the thing. They couldn't believe what they'd seen. And do you know what? It's funny, isn't it?
Not being funny. He should have been asked to leave. Really?
I've been followed by so many people, and I'm not being rude here, everybody. I am sometimes rude, aren't I? Sometimes I'm a bit too direct, aren't I? But I'm not being rude. But I've had so many people contact me and say Merry Christmas, Chris, wishing you and Sue a Merry Christmas. And I always reply to people as much as I can. I reply. And some days I've been doing 150. Thank you, Merry Christmas to you. Thanks. Hope everything's well. Or, trying to leave everybody a message, because people have reached out and supported me when I was getting shit because I showed correction to a dog at the right moment, and I stand by that. And there's no way that I would take that down and apologize for the way I treated that dog, because I believe what I did to that dog was perfectly within the bounds of training gun dogs. Now, if pet people don't like that, I don't care. Go away. You don't need to rubbish me. You can just keep your thoughts to yourself for all I care. But to go out of your way to try and stir shit for me as a professional and try and lose me my business and report me to every the police, the RSPCA, the RAF, in case they wanted to throw me out of a plane. It's really, really ridiculous that I agree. If they want to talk to me and debate with me and say, why do you class that as training? I'll explain to them. But I stand by everything I've ever put up on the internet and everything I've ever said on the internet, even when I've been rude to one person, directly rude to one person because she wouldn't leave me alone. But to say that I persecuted her when everybody knows, thousands of people know, she was obsessed by me. Another fat person with nothing better to do in life. Aren't I the unlucky one?
You don't have to.
Hey, aren't I the unlucky one? Why couldn't I have some gullible 19-year-olds who thinks I'm a god? And I say, Sue, if you don't sort yourself out, I'm going to find a younger model.
And then you woke up.
I bet Loopy Lou is watching too. Loopy Lou's only got herself to freaking blame, isn't she? She stirs so much shit, everybody remembers it. But Loopy Lou's gone quiet because I broke her. And that's the way it had to be. And I moved on. But other people can't move on. They have to keep bringing up Loopy Lou. Exactly, Steve. Exactly. So she's not here. Nor Loopy Lou, thank fuck. Imagine a team tag with those two. Bloody hell. I'd lose some bloody weight, wouldn't I?
I'd grab a sick bag.
Sue would grab a sick bag. How could you say it? How could you say it? Sue is laughing. No, she find it hilarious. She'd let it happen. She'd go get on with it. Crack on. I know nothing's going to happen. She'd trust me with them too. She'd go, in your dreams. This is it, Michael McLaughlin. Big girl magnet, eh? Big girl magnet, eh?
I'll be sending you.
Is there anybody on here find me attractive?
I would be sending you to the doctors because there's definitely something wrong with you. Where's Adam? I miss him. Where's Adam?
Steve, you're so funny. You'd have to gag him. No, I wouldn't. I'd blindfold him and set a match to the freaking. I'd blindfold him and set a match to the freaking mattress and go, "It's hot in here, girls."
You need a paper bag.
Can I say that? Can I actually say that? Or are they going to say, "No, I'm an arsonist"? An arsonist! Stop it, Steve. Stop it. I don't want no more gags from Steve, right? Some people just try to be relevant so they get noticed. If you want to be relevant as a dog trainer, show us your work. Exactly, Gary. Show us your work. We've put it out there. I've awarded people in the group as trainers to train and help other people because they've showed the quality of their dog training. They've showed their quality of knowledge by helping others gain success. Anybody can do a course. This woman, I can show you the list of stuff she's done. She's got about 30 different things she's followed because she's a collector of paper. She collects paper. It gives her, like, I've got this degree. I've got this award. I don't care. Like I said, it's not a dick measuring competition. Can you say that these days? Because she could be a bloke, couldn't it? If you look carefully at one of the pictures, I had to do a double take. Now, I'm not being rude, but you've got to be so careful. You can't say a he or a she, can you, these days? So we're going to say an it. An it. Now, I've not named her. You can see it on the video because what's the latest with the most recent train incident gone quiet? Hang on, Lynn. What's the latest with the most recent trainer incident gone quiet? All right. I don't really want to say, Lynn, because I believe it's up to them, the Kennel Club, to deal with it. I believe that the Kennel Club are going to have egg on their face if they don't deal with it. You can't set rules and boundaries and then let people
do what they like.
Simple as that. If you set rules and boundaries, and what the Kennel Club will go, they're not rules and boundaries, they're guidelines. Well, I think he stood over the guideline. Plenty of courses, but not much intercourse, I would suggest. Peter Piper, stop it. Pull your zip back up. At the end of the day, might be a bloke with big pair of balls gobbing off from behind the keyboard. You don't know these days, do you? You don't know, but I would rather, I would, oh my God, you're making me feel, I nearly had sick in my mouth then, thinking about it. Well said, Chris. Just thinking what will happen on Friday. What do you mean what will happen on Friday? Well, what's happening on Friday? The championship? What's happening Friday? Tell me, Lynn. Help me. I think the championship, isn't it? No, the thing is, Cocker Champs.
Yeah, Cocker Champs.
So let's look at it this way.
The championship.
Are you going to, as the judges, and you've heard all this fracas that's kicked off, and you've seen the video, and so many people would have, are you going to give that guy the win if his dog's good enough on the day? Or are you going to think, we can't give him the win, it's going to cause such a shitstorm if he freaking wins it? It means that everyone will be freaking kicking the dog. Right? Number 7. They all know it. They're all following it, aren't you? Imagine he won. Imagine he won. But guess what? The judges should be totally honest, shouldn't they? The best dog on the day should win. Now, isn't it funny how the gobshite who gobbed off about me gobbed off that his dog was a puppy? How do you know it's a puppy? Did he say in the video, this is a bloody puppy? Some cockers are big, some cockers are small. That might be one of the dogs that gone to the championship. I don't know. Michael McLaughlin, if he's top dog, why not? Yeah. And then he could advertise, couldn't he? If he don't listen, give it a kick.
And call it a C-U-N-T.
And call it a C-U-N-T. But it just showed it didn't bother the dog. If anything, it might have sharpened the dog up. But I'm not saying that's acceptable. There's no way on this earth am I saying what he did was acceptable. But do I need to splash it all over the internet and share it with everybody and name him because I feel that I want to make myself look better? Yeah, you should keep a short name for your dog, shouldn't you? And we do know who was it? Who was showing training? And oh, that was it. We watched a video, didn't we? And he kept saying to the dog, he wanted the dog to come in. It was Martin Dealey's video, and he wanted the dog to come in because it wasn't coming in with the delivery. It was standing off him and dropping the delivery. So Martin has done a video and it's out there for everyone to see. Martin Dealey, he's died now, unfortunately, and he keeps going front. So to get the dog to come in, he keeps backing up and going front, and it sounds very similar to the words that he was using. Perhaps he got it from Martin Dealey. I don't think so. I don't think Martin Dealey would do a thing like that. Martin Dealey was a very much loved dog trainer. In America, they think he's a god, or thought he was a god. At the end of the day, I don't go after anybody unless they have a dig at me. If they have a dig at me, I class it as a fair playing field for all. And I'm so disappointed. But I've still not named her tonight, have I? Because I don't want people going after her. Because we don't know the mental state of people if you put pressure on them. Now, you could say, well, I don't care what pressure he gets. He shouldn't treat a dog like that. He deserves, he wants to kill himself, kill himself. You don't know what pressure that's put on him, how that may have broke his heart, that's gone public. He shared it. But you don't know the mental state of that bloke, and he may get shunned by people. He's taken down his sight. His whole world has been turned upside down, and for a good reason. But you don't know the mental state of people, and people are so quick to condemn and rubbish and slander other people. Now, you don't know my mental state. I've been told I'm being monitored all the time by the woman in Scotland, and she feels the need to monitor me. Now, I think that's sad because she's not a doctor, but she feels so obsessed to watch me and make that decision whether I flipped. Well, you can't get a fucking ambulance at the moment, can you? So there's no fucking way they can get me to hospital quick, can they? The police are not fucking doing their job, so what's going to happen there? What's she going to do? Phone the fire service and say he's threatening to jump off the roof? Well, we don't have a double-story building, so Fat Boy would bounce anyway, wouldn't he? Remember that Dudley Cook and what's name? He said that song, "Jump, you fucker, jump," and he jumped and broke his neck, and that was that. Anyway, I just think to myself, tonight has been a complete and utter waste of time. I've wasted everybody's time on here because you've come on here thinking, yes, we're going to see a sensible debate. We're going to see a sensible debate between Humpty Dumpty, says Graham Allison. Humpty Dumpty, you bastard, Graham. Honestly, you know what they say? If you can't laugh at yourself, don't laugh at others. Bigger issue would be lack of conviction. If he's up front about discipline, I have no issue, except maybe the level of discipline. Michael, it's a brilliant comment you've made there, because without talking about the situation, and like I keep saying, because they'll throw me under the bus again, say he's agreeing with him and saying he's being picked on. No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. What I'm saying is, let them tell us what you should do in that situation when the dog's pulling. Should you take no notice of an unwanted behavior, or should you stop that unwanted behavior? Let's break it down into simple format for them, so they don't get all triggered and want to freaking set me on fire. I've had that. I've been threatened that they'll set my place on fire. They'll come round in a gang and freaking rape me. Not rape me. They didn't say rape me. That was in my imagination. I lay in bed thinking, oh, I wish they'd come round, a mob of them, and abuse me in my bedroom. Oh, a little bit of pain. I love it. I love it a little bit. No, I don't want to be. No, I don't want to be. No. Don't go there. I'm not going there.
Too much of a softie.
Too much of a softie, Sue says. She freaking knows, you know. She got long nails. Oh, you get off me. Get off me. That's that was what Chris wanted. Karen, honestly, how do you know? How do you know these things? Honestly, Karen, you should see the scratches on my back. If I could only get me top over my head.
That bloody ninja, isn't it?
Yeah, that bloody ninja. And so I got a sense of humor, because I think you've got to have a sense of humor. Put on the peg. What the frig is Steve on about now? Put on the peg. Oh, I'll tell you what. Whose birthday was it? Whose birthday was it?
Was it Richard?
Richard. Was it Richard's birthday? No, it wasn't Richard.
Whose birthday was that?
Steve's birthday, isn't it? No.
No.
Whose birthday was it? And I congratulated him. Oh, Chris's. It was Chris's. Yeah, Richard Gould. Chris's birthday. He's only freaking 50. He's only 50. He's had a bloody hard paper round, hasn't he? Chris has had an hard paper round. Only 50, isn't he? Gary Marriott says you should always ignore an unwanted behavior. Then the behavior fairies will make it magically disappear. Exactly, Gary. Exactly. So if we break it down easy for these people and go, well, hang on, what are you going to do in that situation? You're going to want to stop an unwanted behavior. Are you going to use a punisher? Are you going to? Oh no! Don't use a punisher. Don't use a punisher. Anybody who uses a punisher is really, really cruel. Now ask the question this: if that's the case, why are so many people using a punisher if the dog pulls on the lead? Why have not 99.9% of trial people condemned him openly about using a punisher? Not to the level. We could say the level was too high. We could say it wasn't proportionate with what he was trying to achieve. You could say he lost his temper. There's so many things you could say.
The dog was being a little C-U-N-T.
Hear what Sue said then? Hear what Sue said then? She used the word C-U-N something else. Honestly, she never used to swear before she met me.
I didn't swear. I spelled.
She spelt it, she said. Anyway, I think to myself, what a lovely bloke Chris Devell is. He's not like me, is he? I upset 3 people today, but they have got a sense of humor, thank Christ. On Corleone talking about chocolate labs. And the only reason I was talking about chocolate labs is I've seen so many that are dominant, difficult to train, pig-headed, and it's genetics because they're chocolate and they're bred for the colour and not for the trainability. And trust me, the picture, oh damn it, it's not here. The picture that they put up discussing about Labradors not being very bright. It wasn't me. It was a study. And like exactly what people said in the group, I put it up as a bit of a like, they're having a freaking laugh. They haven't got a clue, these scientists. And this woman says, I follow the science. This is what happens, isn't it? I follow the science. Yeah, that's what I'm freaking worried about. People who follow the science. What do they tell us about COVID? What do they tell us about the freaking face masks? We shouldn't be wearing face masks. I watched an argument today. Doctor was saying use face masks because it saves a certain percentage of people ending up with COVID or ending up with the flu. And we need to save the hospital beds. And even if it saves only 25% of people from ending up getting COVID or flu, then it's a good thing. But it's not foolproof. I totally agree. It's not foolproof, is it? It's not. It's got freaking gaps at the side of it. If you don't wear it properly, it steams up your freaking glasses. It's not nice to wear. You know, not being funny, if you go in a hot room with it, you can't freaking breathe, can you? But one minute someone says you waste your time wearing it. It doesn't do nothing. It doesn't save nobody. Another one says you isolate. No, you shouldn't freaking isolate. Science. Trust the science. Where have we got by trusting the freaking science, everyone?
What do I say about science?
It's only theory till proven.
Yeah.
But hang on. We were all told, no, we don't need masks, didn't we, to begin with? Now we're being told, freaking put your mask on quick because it's coming back big time. They're now saying that people are having heart problems because of the COVID jabs, and they're now realizing that people of a certain age, my freaking age, are having heart problems. Thanks for telling me now, you fucking idiots. Hey, why didn't you say people of your age, unfortunately, could be in the category of having heart problems? I'd go, you can fucking keep your jab, and I'll keep sniffing into a fucking mask. Yes, Richard, the earth was flat. No, they thought it was flat. It's just been ironed out. I mean, it's the same with this cold snap, isn't it? We had it freaking freezing. Everyone was moaning. It's because of the climate. Then as soon as it freaking goes mild, oh, it's because of the climate. It's freaking unreal.
Is it just because it's winter?
And you know what? The more I go on, the more I listen, the more I open my mind and listen to the science and the facts and lay there, you know, filling up stuff with my head, the more screwed up I get.
That's why science will always be questioned.
I think in a minute, I may start looking at fat women and think, what have I missed over the years? What are you? You know, they do say, don't they? Don't knock it till you've tried it. Has anybody tried it? Has anybody tried it and thoroughly enjoyed it? Come on. It's a good question, isn't it? It's a good open question, isn't it? I mean, there could be people in here chuckling away, but not saying nothing. Chris, your gas, you have me laughing. What? Your gas has me laughing. Laughing gas. Honestly. No, honestly. Come on, own up. Own up. Is there anybody in here who actually likes a plump girl? I'm being scientific study about COVID. No, we've moved on. I'm dyslexic. My brain goes and it confuses the shit out of the dog sometimes. And it's going to confuse you because 1 minute I'm going, what are you doing? And the next minute I'm going, good lad, good lad. Oh no, freaking, she's going to kick off again now. I never said her name and it freaking nearly kicked off again. That I'm not going to say it because it will just start talking to me again. It's lonely. It's lonely. And I think that's the problem. That's the problem. So I don't want to be sexist or derogative here. Do you think a lot of these fat girls have a problem because they're not getting enough attention?
Yeah, they need to get a life.
They need to get a life, says Sue. What's going to happen now? Police report. Callington Police Station. At 54:17, Sue said they need to get a life.
Well, there's only so much cleaning a woman can do, and then what do? Oh, I know. Let's get on that keyboard. I love my little keyboard. It's my little friend.
Hang on. Did you hear that? That was not coming from my mouth. That came from the wife in the corner. There's only so much cleaning. Listen to this, everybody. Listen to this. Sue, I want you to answer this in the most honest way you can. Do you like cleaning?
Love it.
Hear that, everyone? She said, love it. She loves cleaning. I go out of my way to make a mess because I know she loves cleaning. Aren't I lucky?
But there is only so much you can do, and then you pull
She's a
back.
keeper, says Smithy. Smith 74. She is a keeper, isn't she? I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. You're gonna have. Do you know what? You're gonna have to go out your way, aren't you, to get me to dump Sue and fall for you just because you freaking want to abuse me on the internet.
I mean, no, like I said to you, I feel really sorry for these women if they didn't have such nasty mouths, because their lives have got to be so freaking empty.
Lynn, I really like you, Lynn. You're special. Lynn Vine, nice and cuddly. She's a girl. I like that, Lynn. Thank you very much indeed. Did you?
Is she talking about you?
No, I'm not saying she's talking about me. But did you see Gary Marriott in that fluffy thing he had? Did you see him in his Santa pack? Honestly, it looked like a. I used to keep conkers in stuff like that when I was a kid. Used to get me conkers out when I wanted to be conker champion at school. Thank God Gary put a drink in front of his pouch. Honestly, it was virgin on the. Honestly, I nearly made a Christmas calendar out of it. It was funny. And this is the problem. This is the problem. Santa mankind. Yeah. Manky. This is the problem. If you haven't got a sense of humor, you're going to find me very offensive. And if you get triggered easy, you're going to get triggered even easier by dealing with me. So if you don't like me, why are you watching it and tormenting yourself? But obviously,
they want to be famous.
Obviously, you've got a crush on a fat boy. I totally understand. But what you've got to realize is I'm happily married. I'll have a laugh with anybody, but I'm happily married. And if you can say that at my age, when you've been with someone as long as I have, you're a lucky guy, or a lucky girl, or a lucky it. Whatever you want to be at the moment.
You're just darn lucky.
You can always change that another day, can't you? Acquired taste, Chris. This is it, Steve. This is it. Us slightly chubby.
Slightly.
Us chubby.
Get it right.
Everybody, I've never ever heard anyone take the piss out of Santa and going, you fat bastard, you ain't getting down the chimney. You ain't getting up the chimney.
Yeah, but Santa brings presents.
This is it. I mean, if you're not watching your body all the time, like Gary Marriott does, right? You don't need to go down the gym or cycle your bike on a regular basis. Gary was explaining to me the other day how he keeps so trim and neat looking, cycling his bike to work on a regular basis. I got on my bike about 12 months ago, and the butcher, unfortunately, he's died, said to me, did I see you on a freaking push bike going across the top road the other day? And I looked at him like, yeah, it's a fucking push bike. I can ride a fucking push bike. As if like you couldn't fucking ride a push bike. You're too fat. Honestly, people are so judgmental. It's only had 3 fucking gears. I had to walk it up the hill, but he saw me going across the back road. I bet he thought, how the freaking hell did he go up that back road? I was walking and huffing and puffing like a blinking. I thought I'd never done this when I was a youngster. Lynn says she's not dissing Santa. He was good to me this year.
That's what I mean. Santa brings treats.
Sue, was Santa good to you this year?
He was.
There you go. There you go. How about that? How about that? I thank you all in the group, because not only are we a friendly bunch and we all train and we all help each other, but we all have a sense of humor as well. And like I was saying, I upset a few people because I was going on about chocolate labs. I was only saying it the way I see it.
I love chocolate.
Sue loves chocolate. Chocolate labs are not renowned for being easy to train. You get a few good ones, and I explained that. And then people in the group started putting up chocolate lab after chocolate lab after chocolate lab, and they all calling it the chocolate bear, the chocolate bear, the chocolate bear. We had a laugh. We didn't go out of our way to upset any individual. We had a laugh, and that's what it's about. It's about having a laugh with our group. It's the same with pointers. We have a laugh with the pointers, and yet, Steve, as working with Sol, he can't wait to get a pointer for himself. Steve cannot wait to get himself a pointer. He's realised Gary's retracted his message. Jesus Christ, he doesn't normally on all these forums. That's unusual for Gary. That must have been rude. I can't even see it. Let's see it. Shall we see it? Oh no! It says I can report him, put him in timeout.
Oh.
We could put him in timeout. If he put on that suit again, we would definitely put him in. No pointer for me. Stop it, Steve. Stop it. But on another note, everybody, we condition our dogs, we punish our dogs, we use corrections, we use fun-based training, we use food on the odd occasion, and we love them. Did you see the feed that Steve put up about his little terrier? Did you feel for him of what he said about that little chap, his mate? They work together in the field, and that bond that we build with our dogs is phenomenal. That these people who do nothing but go out of their way and rubbish us,
perhaps they don't get that.
That's the whole point, isn't it? That is the whole point. My dogs don't live on the settee with me. I don't care if that's what you want to do. My dogs don't live on the settee with me. I'm not stroking their balls to get them to love me. I'm not feeding them cheese. But when I take them out in the field, they absolutely love it. They love working with me. My dogs don't fear me, and yet I use discipline. Sorry, what did you say? Steve said, just my bag. Just
pointers. Steve went, no pointers for me.
Just not my bag.
Michael went, what's wrong with pointers? I understand the big girls, but poor old pointers.
Honestly.
Steve's backtracking over, but I do think they are majestic.
I'm going to get myself a monk jack because I think monk jacks are just the right size for putting in the freaking trailer. I'm not going to go for a big deer with horns, and he might rut me. But at the end of the day, I might just get myself a little monk jack and follow and get that to run around the fields. What about the big girls then, Steve?
Yeah, because Steve's backtracking.
Come on, Steve, you backtrack it. Come on, Steve.
Coming at him.
Come on, Steve. Michael, good one. Good one, Michael. Hang on, we've got a thing going on here, everyone. Let's give him a couple of seconds. I was going to go and let you all go, but hang on, something's going down here at the moment. There you go, Stevie, baby. A man's man. A real man's man. Honestly, tough as a badger. Tough as a badger, that man. Funny with it. And that's what it's about, everyone. So thanks for tuning in. And I think it's such a shame, really, isn't it, everyone, that she's not come in tonight. And I would have been so much kinder with her and gave her a platform where she could have discussed and debated with us and had a bit of a laugh in it. Because if you can make somebody laugh, you can win them over to a certain extent, can't you?
Another woman let us women down. They haven't got the balls to women will come on and stand up. And as my
mate used to say, and I'm not going to name him, but he was such a sense of humour, and we used to go out on the pool together as youngsters. And he used to say to me, I'm going to be rude now. So if there's anybody who can't stand this, you need to leave the auditorium now, because I'm going to tell you what he used to say to me, and he used to have me in stitches.
Well, I hope the 17-year-old's got his ear.
So anybody in here who could be offended or might be slightly offended, you need to leave now. There's 44 people in here. Let's see how many people leave. And I'll tell you what he used to say to me when I was 17. It's 40, so 4 have left. So we've got 4 people who've left. Completely up to them.
I've got 40.
Yeah.
Joe, if you're still in, put your hands up.
Lynn's hiding behind the keyboard. Bollocks, good crack tonight. her loss. What he used to say to me, she got, no, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. I think it's rude, but I think it's hilarious. Or do you want me to say it? If you want me to say it, I'll say it. If we get 10 yeses, I'll say it. We've got 39 people in the house. You've not all left. If you want me to say it before we go, I'll say it. But it is slightly rude. Go for it. Honestly, you lot. Honestly. He used to say, I say, what was she like then? And I would nearly said his name then. And if his missus heard us, this was before he got married and all that. And unfortunately, he's died now. Lovely, lovely lad. Jamaican lad. Absolutely lovely lad.
I know you don't.
And we used to go out and he had the gift of the gab. He could pull, but he used to like big fat girls. And for some reason, he would pull every time. Now, there must be a reason for that, mustn't there? Are they desperate? I don't really know, but I'm not being rude here. I'm being totally honest and upfront. And I used to say to him, "Oh, Lamb, I used to say, how could you do that? How could you do that? Don't. What were you thinking?" And then I go, imagination comes in, and you go, "What was she like?" And he used to say she had piss flaps like John Wayne saddlebags. On that note, good night. They didn't want to hear that, Sue. That was over. That was too much, wasn't it? That was too much. But on that note, good night. And don't sleep badly thinking about it. Stop it. I don't know why I said it. That was slightly over the top. Honestly, big girl she was. They were all big girls. Anyway, on that note, I'm leaving the auditorium. I'll probably get a police visit now. Good night, all. This looks like John Wayne Saddleback.